let's go over to the ice because tonight we got 4 games on the docket tonight. 7 o'clock, 7:30, 9:30, and 10 o'clock. But we're going to go to Pittsburgh where Saturday night special, the Philadelphia Flyers, back in the playoffs, knock off the Penguins. They'll look to take a 2-0 series lead tonight, but they are not the favorite here, Joe. You take a look. Philadelphia, the underdog coming in with Vladar in goal, minus 152 favorite for the Penguins, and a total of 6.5. Give me a spread line tonight there for Flyers Penguins.
Well, I mean, the Battle of Pennsylvania rages on, right? But it was 6.5 in the first game, too. It was one of the higher totals on the board. And, yeah, we didn't get 6 goals here, Donnie. Yeah. So what are we going to get here? This feels like one of these series where, yes, we're all expecting to have these wild shootouts, but it's probably going to be lower scoring. It's going to be a lot more physical. And I'm just going to keep playing. I mean, nobody has dominated over the postseason like Sidney Crosby has, especially in his career against Philadelphia. So just keep giving me Sidney Crosby anytime goals. I'm good to go. I think the under is alive and well in this series. I'm not buying we're getting 5-4 games out of these two teams, Donnie. I think there are going to be a lot of unders here.
Let's see what happens in this one. Philadelphia, the road team, again, the underdogs, won in game number 1. Let's shift over to a 9:30 start tonight. Minnesota on the road to take on the Stars. Also, Joe, the underdog winning game number 1 with a 1-0 series lead. Dallas at home opened up as around a minus 130 price. So moved up slightly, Joe, only to minus 134. And look at this total, 5.5 listed. Minnesota, 1-0 series lead over Dallas. What's the spread line we can anticipate tonight?
Well, there's a few guarantees in life, right? Death, taxes, and Ottinger and Dallas never winning an opening game at home in the postseason and looking terrible. The problem is it's likely going to continue because they usually don't win the first 2 games of any series, Donnie. That's how they roll for some very strange reason. I mean, coming into this tournament, I thought that these two teams were about as even as you can get. But the problem is, and what you saw is no Roope Hintz there for Dallas. That's a problem. And they're hoping he's going to be available to be back on the ice tonight. Otherwise, Kasparov and Quinn Hughes and company, they had their way with this Dallas team. And Ottinger obviously can't be counted on to save the day all the time. They need Hintz in that lineup. If they do, I think they can even this series up. But if they don't, Donnie, Minnesota could be heading back to Minnesota up 2-0.
Final series, final game of the night, just about to get underway in the NHL, Joe. It's Anaheim on the road to take on Edmonton. Edmonton opened up around a minus 165 favorite. That's climbed higher now. 175s, minus 178s in the marketplace, and a total that's listed at 6.5. Anaheim and Edmonton, Joe. Give me a spread line for that one here.
This is going to be hilarious. First of all, Leon Draisaitl has been confirmed he's going in this game. So McDavid and Draisaitl back on the ice here, which is great that Edmonton, because they're going to need him here. Not for this series, Donnie, but down the road, they're going to need him. I think Connor McDavid might set the record for the most points and goals ever scored in a series because the Anaheim Ducks offensively are a lot of fun. Defensively, well, they don't play any, Donnie, and that's the problem. They have no goaltending, they have no defense, but they love to skate up and down the ice and take shots. I think this is going to be the highest scoring series that we have, maybe the most fun from a scoring perspective. But Connor McDavid, and now that Leon Draisaitl is back, they are going to feast on this terrible Anaheim defense here. So, yeah, I think we're going to get a lot of overs in this series, and I think it begins here tonight.
Exciting action across all sports landscapes here. We need to bring in some help. It's Sonny right side. It's Joe and Ari. Now we welcome in Tom Vecchio, who just about to go on vacation. But before he goes, we got a lot to catch up on, Tom, which what happened this weekend. Major League Baseball, the NHL, the NBA, and also, Tom, a little NFL talk as well, heating up on a Monday. How about that? What's good? Chris. Yeah.
We all know, but we have prime NBA, NHL playoff action, a full slate of MLB, which gets started in 3.5 hours or so with Marathon Monday for the Red Sox.
Absolutely. Having some fun here, Tom. Let's keep it in the NHL just to start off, because as we were opening up the show, and Joe had a great, caffeinated Joe saying, like, hey, NBA, we waited for the playoffs to get rid of the tanking, and it looks like teams are actually tanking in the playoffs right now with a lot of these blowouts. But yesterday in the NHL, 2-1 Avalanche Kings, 4-3 overtime Canadiens Lightning, 4-3 Sabres Bruins, and then a great comeback for the Golden Knights in the third period here to win 4-2 over the Mammoth. Tell me what you've been seeing here in the NHL and what you're looking at now.
Well, yes, those games yesterday, we finally got some scoring going because it started off really slow. Seeing that all the games, or nearly all of them, are finishing within the puck line is at least interesting. Now, I'm not going to say we're just going to go blindly betting underdog puck lines. The Flyers are, +1 or +1.5 is -188. So we're not blindly betting that. But the underdogs are live to win, and they're live to keep it close. And we're also seeing more and more unders, which is good outside of yesterday's results, obviously. But seeing a Flyers pen 6.5 today has me leaning towards the under. I think we're not going to see these teams get out and boat race one another and see the games end 5-2 outside of the Dallas-Minnesota game.
I tell you, that Montreal-Tampa game was so much fun to watch. Montreal upstart. Two teams with 106 points during the season. Yeah, they can play, and that is going to be a good series. I'm not sure the Edmonton-Anaheim series is going to be as good, but Draisaitl is back. He's going now. So with this, Edmonton, they can score 7 goals, so it doesn't matter who's in goal for them.
It doesn't. This would be the one series I would say would kind of break the mold of what I was just talking about. I was like, this series is going to have goals. There's no doubt about it. And frankly, I don't want to say the Oilers are primed for an upset, but people can't be discounting the Ducks. The Ducks are a really good team, and they can score with the Oilers. Previously when we saw the Oilers versus the Kings over the last, 5 straight years, the Oilers just outscore them, and they win the games 5-2. The Ducks can score. They can win those games 5-3, 5-4, whatever it might be. I do not think that is going to be a lower scoring series, and the Ducks are live to win games. I would say play the Ducks on the money line as long as you're getting plus money.
Little hockey talk on a Monday. What a great opening, you should say, on Saturday and Sunday. A lot of great games here in Philadelphia. Yes, we finally tasted some victory in the Buffalo Sabres. Haven't been in the playoffs for a while. Exciting Game 1 victory over the Boston Bruins. But some other news and notes and topics, Joe. How about Vincent Trocheck? Yeah, you remember him on Team USA winning a gold medal here. But how about this to start the season, Joe? Trocheck revealed that he had a bacteria infection in his lungs that required surgery, and that's why he missed a month early in the season. Quote, "It was very scary. I thought I was dying." Hockey players, tough, Joe. Very tough.
Yeah, and he still would have played if they would have let him, Donnie. He still would have tried to get out there and get it done. But, it was a sign right off the bat here. The Panthers, the Rangers, key injuries to key guys early on, and that kind of doomed them from that point on.
As Sidney Crosby said, I don't like them. Well, I just don't like them here. Well, it's the same thing with the fan bases between the Pittsburgh fan bases and the Philadelphia fan base. Steelers, Sixers, Flyers. I mean, the Sixers, hell, you don't even have a basketball team in Pittsburgh. Sixers fans probably still hate Pittsburgh. Update from PPG Paints Arena. There's already been 2 fights in the crowd, 5 fan ejections, and we're 20 minutes away from puck drop. This is Penguins, Flyers in the playoffs. It's a great rivalry. It is a lot of fun, as I said. Sixers and the Celtics are supposed to be a rivalry. Nobody's even going to be making a golf clap by the time they get back for Game 3 for the Sixers game. But tell me this, Joe. This place is going to be on fire when Philadelphia returns back to playoff hockey against the Penguins. Crosby, it just makes for good television. It makes for good TV, and you can buy in. It's a great time here.
It really is. I mean, it's classic, it's old school, and it's, listen, 2 fan bases that, haven't exactly recently had a whole lot to be excited about, but boy, oh boy, there's a lot of pent-up anger against one another in this series, so should be a whole lot of fun to watch this thing unfold.
Absolutely, it should be. How about this one, Joe? Correct me if you've heard this before. Not sure if there will be a switch for game number 2 as well, but Jake Ottinger just came on the ice for practice in an original white and green pad setup, not the new black ones, so as the black 99 mask. What's up with Ottinger and the boys, huh?
I don't know. I don't know why he refuses to be able to win a game on his own home ice in the playoffs to start is beyond me, but it feels like it's rinse and repeat with him. They just start slow for some reason, but I think they get Hintz back. They're going to be fine. But Ottinger, we know, heading into the playoffs, down into that game yesterday, I think he was 5-0 his last 5 games with 3 shutouts. So we know what he's capable of, but my goodness, they got to give him some help here, Dallas.
I'll tell you who else needs to get some help. Macklin Celebrini. He seems like all the help he needs is just him. But, boy, you want to surround him with some other superstar players, and you got something for maybe the next 20 years. Macklin Celebrini's final tally in his 19-year-old season, 82 games, 45 goals, 70 assists, 115 points. I think he passed Joe Thornton there as most points there in a Sharks uniform. This is a guy that's now open to an extension. Pay the man his money and get some talent around him, Joe.
And yeah, he will be there for he is a name that, yes, get used to saying a lot here. And it's good because it'd be good to see San Jose back in the discussion again.
How about Bruins and the Sabres yesterday? You saw all the anticipation of playoff hockey coming back to Buffalo. And how about 4 goals in the third period for a 4-3 victory by the Sabres? The place was on fire. Like we're taking back to the old Aud in Buffalo, Joe.
I got to tell you, that was some third period, man. You dropped 4 goals in the third period. Just unbelievable what's going on there. That too, a very good series with a not a top of mind sort of rivalry like Philadelphia and Pittsburgh, but make no mistake about it, that's 2 blue blood NHL organizations with fans that they got a little something to say here.
They do. How about Ottawa and Carolina? I watched that game from the hotel room on Saturday. Really a dominating performance by Carolina in that game. Game number 2 going to be tonight, a -152 favorite for Carolina. They always talk about the forechecking and the back checking. Extremely good for Carolina here as they look to take a series win 2-0 tonight, Joe.
Vintage Carolina, but Ottawa, if you don't get shots on Frederik Andersen, you're not going to be able to beat him, and that was the problem in the game. They went through 2 periods, Donnie. I think they had 5 shots on goal. That's not going to get it done. The Senators got to figure out a way to generate some offense, and they got to make Andersen work. I think they'll have a better opportunity here tonight.
We have Prediction Markets Edge coming up in hour number 2, Joe. Give me a Predictions Market Edge on the Flyers at a 30-1 price to win the Stanley Cup. Or would you rather just take the Avalanche at +280, Joe?
No. Listen, the Avalanche barely got by the Kings 2-1, so anything is possible.
Anything is possible as we move into hour number 2. More fun, more hot topics, and a guy who had maybe a bigger weekend than everybody at the grid will join us as well. I'll let you find out who that is. Let's go over to the ice tonight in Pittsburgh. Game number 1 went to the Philadelphia Flyers 3-2. Game number 2 tonight out there in Pittsburgh, a 7 o'clock start. The favorites in this game, still the Pittsburgh Penguins, as they were in game number 1. You take a look and think they can win this game. 58 cents, the current trading point. $100 investment pays back $173. The Philadelphia Flyers as the underdog for game number 2. If they can go 2-0 in this series in 2 games in Pittsburgh, that's a 43% chance tonight. That's a $100 investment, pays back $233. We know, Joe, you go down 0-2 in a series, like, okay, we're going back to home ice, let's even it up. You can't go down 0-2 in your own building and expect to win that series.
Yeah, I mean, listen, and we know that maybe the zigzag theory alive and well in the NHL as opposed to the NBA right now. And even the Flyers are talking about, we're going to see a much different Pittsburgh team in game 2 after losing game 1. But there's a couple of guys that I would not go away from in this series at all. I mean, Malkin already showed you what he's all about. He had a monster game. I see him having another big game here against Philly. I think, and the youngster there, Martone, already scored a playoff goal in that first game. I think he's another guy that's going to be extremely dangerous and worth playing for an anytime goal. I just don't happen to think it's going to be as high scoring as the market does, Donnie. So I'm leaning the unders, but I'm also leaning on the guys that we know will likely find the back of the net on both these teams.
Take a look, too, at Pittsburgh. If you think they can win on the puck line, -1.5, which means winning by 2. That's currently trading, Joe, at 35 cents right now. $100 investment pays back $286. So what you want, Pittsburgh to be up 3-2 with about a minute to go. Flyers pull their goalie. See if you can get one of those empty netters here to cash that plus money ticket in. We'll find out tonight in Pittsburgh who either takes the series command at 2-0 for the Flyers or even up 1-1 heading back to Philadelphia. Dallas is at home. They're hoping to even this series up against Minnesota, who took game number 1. Game number 2, pretty close here as it's listed. If you think the Minnesota Wild can take a 2-0 series lead, that's currently trading right now at 46 cents for them to win this game tonight. A $100 investment pays back $2.18. If you feel that the Dallas Stars can even this series up, Joe, currently trading at 55 cents, that's a $100 investment paying back $182. Minnesota at Dallas tonight.
Yeah, and listen, this was the one series that we all thought, Donnie, was a coin flip one way or the other. I think this series has definitely got zigzag written all over it. I expect a much better effort from Dallas in this game at home. We knew, for whatever reason, Ottinger and Dallas, they don't do well in game ones to start the playoffs on their own home ice. But I do think we're going to get a much better effort here. I mean, 6-1 was just... It just got away from them there. I think they'll be much better in this game. I'm just going to zigzag my way in this series. I'll have Dallas tonight. I'll have Minnesota in game 3 when they go back home because that's how close these two teams really are.
How about this one, though, Joe? Anaheim at Edmonton here. Oh, look, one of these teams looking for a 2-0 series lead. They haven't played yet tonight, or they haven't played yet in the series, but they will tonight, Joe. This game, puck drop's going to be at 10 p.m. in Edmonton here. The Anaheim Ducks are the underdogs tonight, currently trading at 38% to win this game. So if you put a $100 investment down on an upset for Anaheim, that pays back $264. But Edmonton is the favorite, Joe, and as I know you're looking at it as well, we know Connor McDavid's going to be out there tonight. But I'm hearing news on another superstar that also might be returning to the ice tonight.
Yeah, Draisaitl's been practicing with the team. Looks like he is set to return here for Edmonton, which is not great news for Anaheim. No. I mean, listen, they combined these two teams during the season. The Oilers took 2 out of 3 from the Ducks in the regular season. I think they combined for 11 goals in 2 of those 3 games, and then the other one was a 4-2 Oilers win here. And listen, it's all about Anaheim. Very potent offense, no defense, terrible goaltending. Sound familiar? Because that's exactly what Edmonton is. So I would not be sweating out unders in this series, Donnie. I think McDavid certainly going to be a monster in this series. And that's how I would focus it on. McDavid goal props, now Draisaitl back. But give me the overs across the board here.